Welcome to the Wine Cage. I'm Dylan.
I'm Amanda.
And on this evening, we are drinking the second blooming Shiraz by Petaluma Wines. This is a 2022 Shiraz. But is it a Shiraz? It might not be. If you read the fine print on the back, it says a blend of Shiraz and Pinot Noir. So it's not a Shiraz, and we will get to that, but that'll be part of our tasting notes. Producer Wolfie also has his opinion here. His opinion is that he wants dinner now and not in 15 minutes. So we'll get to talking about this Shiraz in a minute. But first, I think we have a whole lot to say about the label on this one. Why don't you go first?
Well, firstly, we had some disagreements about this label over dinner the other night.
I don't remember that.
I think we both agreed that we sort of feel, well, you don't like it aesthetically. I feel neutral on it.
Oh, I have notes on it. Sorry, I don't hate it. You're right. I was pretty.
You hate it. Just say
There's aspects of it that I hate, but I'll get to that in a minute. Normally, I don't talk much about the label, but I've got things to say about this one.
Apparently.
Yeah, please keep going.
Well, I mean, for my personal taste, it's not really my taste aesthetically. It's not something where I would have art of that style in my house or anything like that. But I get why they did it this way. I'm not super brushed up on my aesthetic styles, but this is a very on-trend kind of graphic design style at the moment. Like a little bit kind of cheesy, a little bit kind of 90s early internet sort of vibe. Ironically, you see this kind of design a lot on high-end products at the moment, being marketed at younger people, kind of more like Gen Zers and stuff. Like you see it a lot on like makeup branding. You see it a little bit on kind of modern art sort of flyers for small galleries, that kind of thing.
You see it on your grandfather's Windows 95 desktop background.
Hey, that would have had way less pixels than this.
That does have more pixels, but that's all it's got that's different to that.
Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that I think they're going for a very specific market with this label, and who knows, maybe it's working for them. They're trying to market themselves to a younger crowd. Possibly because it says right here on the front, it's a vegan and minimal preservatives wine. I respect that it's a minimal preservatives wine. I always like trying those personally. I do think the younger generation is more interested in that kind of thing, and that's probably where they're trying to go with that. So, personal taste, not my jam, but I can see why they've chosen to do it.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It's a marketing choice, and as far as I can tell, they're trying to market it to people who played a lot of Second Life. Because what else are you going for with this Lawnmower Man polygon graphics? If you stare at this long enough, your intelligence will flourish like Lawnmower Man. So you'll be just like Job. You'll go from being a simpleton to what does he do at the end of the film? Tries to take over the internet, or maybe nothing actually happened, but there's a whole lot of VR in that film, 90s VR, and that's what I feel like I'm experiencing here. It's sort of acid trip, it's sort of Erowid 90s website, like, LSD trip reports, it's Lawnmower Man, it's Second Life, it's Vaporwave throwback. It's all those things, and it looks terrible.
You like all those things, though.
I like all those things, but as for a design choice, a straight Photoshop gradient from orange to yellow, and then a PowerPoint drag in of Times New Roman vegan minimal preservatives over here. This polygon graphic that looks straight out of 1996. I just don't understand what these choices are here. It makes no sense to me.
I love hearing you rant about design. You should do it more.
And then to top it all off, you've got a white collar with a random once again, drag and drop PowerPoint, like diagonal word going across it. It's the cheapest, nastiest thrown together label I've ever seen on our reviews so far.
That's what's in fashion right now. Make of that what you will.
Yeah, I make no claims to understand whether this is actually fashionable or not. It might not be. It just reminds me of bad 90s websites and lazy PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah, we lived through all of that stuff the first time around, so we don't kind of have the excitement that the younger people do for that sort of aesthetic. But anyway,
we had to get it for those reasons, because we were just like, what is this? What could it be? And the wine itself is surprising and weird in its own way, which we'll get to in a minute. So that's the presentation out of the way. And I like that one was flipped a bit. Usually you rip apart the labels and I'm trying to soften the blow. And this time it's the exact opposite. I feel like you're like, they're following a trend. And I'm thinking, wow, I hope so.
It's a trend you're not on board with.
All right. So how does it smell? You got any thoughts on the nose on this one?
It's pretty sweet and dusty. It has a slight tinge of...
Wolfie's got thoughts on the nose on this one. What do you reckon, buddy? He's got no words.
No words.
The nose for me on this one is perfumey, bright, floral, not Shirazzy. And that's going to be a theme across this review. It's not bad. So the nose is fine. It's a little weak. There's not a lot of character in the aroma on this one. It's certainly not bad though. It's just kind of floral, kind of perfumey. So that's the nose. Let's see how it tastes. Now, you're quite a fan of this one, so why don't you go first on telling us kind of what you like about it?
I do actually like this one. I think my first sort of impression is that it's quite sweet, but not in a sickly way. It's peppery, it's fruity. It's not very Shiraz-like.
That was a good point. You just said peppery. There is a hint of pepper there. I like that you pick up on these notes that I don't necessarily pick up on straight away. Do you have any further notes before
It's beyond that. The first taste is quite nice, and then I think it disappears quickly. Not in a bad way. There's no lingering aftertaste or anything like that. It's pleasant, and then it just sort of leaves.
Do you find that the more you sip it, because I do with this one, and this is one of my complaints, that it does get a little sour, a little tart, the more you drink it? It's one of those ones that compounds? Not
possibly.
Really, not getting that? Well, for me, the taste on this one I would describe as chalky. It has some sharp edges. It's quite balanced and good. So it's, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. It's just a little plain, a little medium, and it's not a Shiraz. It says on the back of the bottle, this is Shiraz mixed with Pinot. And I don't know, that's like ordering a hot chocolate and then when it gets delivered to you and you start drinking it, the barista says to you, by the way, we blend our hot chocolates with 50% English breakfast tea. You're like, all right, I like both of those things. Didn't know I was going to get that. Thought I was going to get a Shiraz, but got something that is quite a bit lighter.
And this is a lighter wine, we should note, alcohol-wise. It's lighter than your average Shiraz.
Yeah, it really does taste exactly like that. It tastes like someone's poured Shiraz and Pinot into the same glass. So it's a blend of that. It's not bad. I don't like it as much as you do, but it's fine. I'm happy drinking it. It's just not mind-blowing, and I don't have a lot to say about the characteristics of the flavor. It's just it's kind of velvety. It's pretty balanced. It's got a little bit of sharp edges, and for me, the sour tartness compounds a bit the more I drink it. So, do you have any other notes on the actual taste?
Taste-wise, not really, no.
Okay, so I'm curious to know what you rate this one out of 10, because you do like it more than me.
I do, and for me, I think I'd give it a solid 7. I think if you're after a minimal preservative wine as well, this one's quite good. A lot of them are sort of a bit average and watery. This one is solid. It has a lot of flavour.
Yeah, That's fair. I also forgot to say this. It's quite juicy. It has that real, fruit juicy sort of taste. Not in a terrible way. Not in this tastes way too sweet and like candy. Not like that. It's just got a juicy taste, which, once again, a bit unusual for a Shiraz. Not quite what you expect. I'm not sure rating wise on this. I think I'm going to go a 6.5. I was going to go 7, but that compounding tartness on the finish drops it for me from 6.5 down. Sorry, 7 down to 6.5. So I think that about wraps up our thoughts on the second blooming Shiraz 2022 by Petaluma. It's a vegan, minimal preservatives wine. And the fact that it's vegan is not why it's not so good, just so you know. All the wines we drink are vegan, or don't have egg and milk and everything in them. So it's not that. It's just a sort of middling wine with a crazy-ass label that you could drop acid to and spend your whole evening looking at this label trying to decode the blooms.
That's not on our to-do list, just so you know.
Unfortunately. But we're just going to drink it. Look, we enjoy it, fair enough. It's just not mind-blowing. So up to you whether you go out and pick up a bottle of this. Now, we would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations on wines that you've enjoyed recently. So we're always looking for new wines to check out. So if you've had a good red recently, please write about it in the comments. Tell us the name of it and the year so that we can hunt it down if we can. And with that, thanks for joining us again on The Wine Cage, and we hope to see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.